Good day, everyone. I am Stephanie Claire K. Pahulas, student of Negros Oriental State University, Shaton Campus, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies, and I belong to Ed 203, Section D, Group 9. So we will be discussing about the role of discipline in learner-centered classroom. So what is it all about? So when we say learner-centered classroom, it is one in which the teacher takes on the role of facilitator and guides the students to more independent learning. It explores learning strategy such as assessment, reflection, and groupings. In a learning and teaching experience, discipline can be one of the most difficult and confusing issues when it comes to children. But always remember that discipline does not only mean punishment. Discipline came from a root word guide or to teach. In student-centered discipline, it involves engaging students as decision makers and problem solvers. In this process, it cultivates and maintains trusting relationship and respectful students. It helps students understand their impact on others, build empathy, and repair harm they may have caused. The important role of discipline in learner-centered classroom impacts the learning by creating a stress-free environment, improves planning, molds learner character, and enhances motivation. So I will discuss first the first topic under the role of discipline in learner-centered classroom, which is collaborative class norms. The intended purpose of this resource is to support educators and students in feeling supported through constructing a classroom culture with explicit norms and expectations for engagement and respectful participation. So, in creating collaborative class norms, you must have everyone reflect on what kind of classroom culture they want and discuss norms that might be unique to the virtual classroom environment, then determine options for responding when classroom norms feel violated or imperil. Then last, work to reach consensus in the first class. So we have here sample classroom or group work norms. Everyone has the right to be heard. Be respectful while still being critical. No name calling. One person speaks at a time. Maintain confidentiality. Hold yourself and each other to high standards of excellence at all times. Our next topic is logical consequences. The use of logical consequences is one component of the responsive classroom's discipline approach. It is a powerful method of responding to children's misbehavior that is not only effective in stopping the behavior but also respectful of children and assist them in accepting responsibility for their actions. We have here three kinds of logical consequences. First, you break it, you fix it. Children take some responsibility for fixing as the best they can, especially in any problem or mess they have created. For example, a children hurts the feelings of another, so she participates in an apology of action by writing a note including the hurt child in a friendly activity. Second, loss of privilege. In classroom in which children helps generate and construct the rules together, a sense of shared responsibility and true exists when students do not take care of the rules. The logical consequence might be to lose a privilege. Example: a student speaks rudely to the teacher, so the teacher refuses to listen to her until she changes her tone of voice. And lastly, our third type of logical consequences is time out or take a break. For example, a student who is on the verge of losing control and beginning to disrupt and disturb their own and others' ability to learn is asked to leave the scene and to take a break. The students may return when he or she appears to have regained controls and is ready to participate in a positive way. Timeout might be instituted when a student whispers to a neighbor while another student is sharing information or ignores the quiet signals, and lastly, call out answers and denying others the chance to think. Logical consequences, students will inevitably break, ignore, or forget the rules they help to create. It is our responsibility as educators to enforce discipline on the children in our care. However, administering punishment may remind us of being reprimanded in a way that felt dismissive, unsafe, and unsupportive. Avoiding discipline can be equally damaging. Students have a fantastic opportunity to learn that their actions have consequences, even if the consequences of poor decisions are relatively minor. So, our next topic is consistent application. Consistent application is making sure that you are consistent with your rules, your consequences, and your reinforcement. Students succeed in predictable and just environment. They get angry just the same as we do when they think that they aren't being treated fairly or acknowledged. So, how do you create consistency in the classroom? Here's 3 ways you can be consistent. First, do what you say you are going to do. A consistent teacher does what they say they are going to do every time. Second, plan and follow regular routines. A big part of consistency in teaching in your daily routines. Third, be predictable in your emotional responses. So, in role of discipline in learner-centered classroom, we have student-specific. When responding to misbehavior, take into account the social, emotional, and cognitive skills of the students, as well as what is happening in the situation. The consequences for a student might be the same, but you might have them practice more with the students or have them reflect on their behavior. And we have the best example for that by giving student feedback. Make them feel safe. Making them feel safe plays a crucial role in youth's development and academic success. Students who feel safe tend to have better emotional health and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors. That sense of safety contributes to an overall feelings of connection. Next, build teamwork. Active listening and effective speaking are only 2 examples of the crucial communication and social skills that teamwork teaches. In order to fulfill the respective duties while functioning as a team, students learn how to listen to their leaders and coaches. In order to work as a cohesive team, students learn how to listen one another. Students learn through teamwork how to successfully communicate their thoughts and opinions in a group setting while being respectful and self-assured. Next is use proactive language. When you hear about a bill in the state legislature that will help negatively affect students you serve, consider saying or thinking. Proactive language helps quickly overcome situations. Proactive language alters the brain in a positive way, and by that, students will understand your discussions and instructions you are trying to imply to them. Next, we have time resolution. Time resolution create procedure for setting disputes in your class. Be ready to lead and instruct, as neither students nor adults are naturally gifted in this area. However, setting aside the necessary time and space is the first step. Some educators incorporate this as a conclusion to their morning meeting. Have a procedure in place to resolve conflicts between students. Making strategy for the future and finding agreeable answers should be the main goals of this. So in time resolution, we have 6 steps in resolving conflicts. First, cool off. Before the problem solving can be resolved, a student need to be calmed down with herself or himself in order to understand one's opinion without any violent reaction. Second, share, listen, and check. These steps require students to listen to each other, check understanding, and share perspective or issues. Next, take responsibility. Once the students have shared their perspectives or issues, they need to take responsibility for their own actions. Fourth is brainstorming solution. What does students learn from school each other and their responsibility for a brainstorming solution that is agreeable? This is a good time for students to learn to compromise. It can be helpful for a teacher to start the discussion with some suggestions, but the best ideas come from the student. Number 5, choose a solution. At this point, the conflict should be feel like it is about to end after expressing the thoughts and feelings to each other. Next, affirm, forgive, and thank. Students can be close out the sessions by acknowledging their mistakes and forgiving the other students if an apology or forgiveness is warranted. Then they can thank each other for working on the solution. Okay, so our last topic is calm spaces. Many classes include a place to take a break. This only serves to encourage the habits. More important than the aesthetic of the area is the implementation and training of a method for your break location. Even better for your older kids. The procedure may be finished at the student's discretion. It includes a straightforward procedure where students concentrate on self-control and coping mechanism. Student can use it to unwind, refocus, and recenter. So in calm spaces, we have countdown corner. Trusted expert must provide social or emotional assistance for students. Students can self-regulate their feelings in this designated space because they feel safe. It is crucial to provide visuals to support this. So, these spaces are equipped with comforting objects and soothing materials that can promote mindfulness, breathing, and reflection. Calm down corner is to provide the child with a space in which they feel safe recognizing and regulating their emotions in a healthy way. These corners don't need to be complicated and don't even require purchasing any new material. Calm down corner can be developed and promoted in a variety of ways and both home and school settings. And that's our discussion for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless.